that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, you know I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding. I get to squeeze and leave a nigga. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, you know I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding. I get to squeeze and leave a nigga bleeding. Raw Molly got me all up in demon mode. I'm moving like I done put clean in my nose. Trying to catch me a op, I can leave with some hoes. He standing straight up, watch I make him lean with this pole. Would've thought he was closed, how that heat made him fold. Thought it was a game, he won't think no more. His brain's gone, nigga. It be exciting when I get to striking. Guns sound like thunder, hit you like lightning. Fight for your life, we don't do no fighting. We really hit it, nigga. We worse than savage, they calling us Vikings. Police be riding, we still be sliding. Told you we hitters, remember the time. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, you know I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding. I get to squeeze and leave a nigga bleeding. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, you know I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding. I get to squeeze and leave a nigga bleeding. How about I leave them holding like the Bible? AR-15, that's a high down rival. A in the army and assassinate rivals. Break that shit down, nigga. AK or anybody kill. Hop out, get the drilling and spilling. Stay on point, 6-2, gon' split 'em. LPN, that's for any fuck nigga. You a plug, then I'm pulling up, nigga. You my lunch, eat these bullets for dinner. 5 boy sale, eat 'em up, eat 'em up. SK, smoke killer for show. Drum rounds and cripple ops, Draco. I got them all, you don't want no. I got all those things, nigga. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, you know I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding. I get this crazy, leave a nigga bleeding. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, you know I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding. I get this squeeze and leave a nigga bleeding.
Salute, salute. Peace and blessings to everybody. King Von, salute. Shawah Allah, salute. Mike Rhythm, salute. Light Skin Business, salute. Peace and blessings to everybody here. Y'all smash that like button for a guy one time if y'all don't mind. You feel me? I said y'all smash that like button one time for the guy if you don't mind. Man. Boxing. You gotta love it. You gotta love this sport right here. I know I do. Yeah. And see, I'll tell y'all like this, right? I've been doing some numbers and everything. And we got a pretty good show today. I appreciate each and every one of y'all for coming right here. You know what I'm saying? Thanks and peace and blessings to every one of y'all. Hope all y'all doing well. I took my medicine a little early, so I'm feeling pretty great right now. We about to get into this. I just left my man KQKC a minute ago, and he was talking about Jerron Ennis and Keith Thurman and working on a fight together. That would be a major fight for boxing right there. I would love to see Jerron Ennis versus Keith Thurman. That's Boots finally getting his show, his name. They started to make the Boots push. And Keith Thurman, he realized he's not getting none of the big people, so he about to go ahead and cash out, get his payday, and go ahead and sit down. Not to say that fight is going to be a pushover, because it's not. Because Keith Thurman still is one time. And Keith Thurman only lost one time against Pacquiao. We're not going to say if Pacquiao was juiced up, but his head sure was big in that fight. Y'all feel me? But this is what I want to get to right here. So it's official now. The fight set for 147 for Errol and Terrence Crawford. And like a lot of people are mad about this right here. A lot of people, incels, thank you, bro. Salute. $5 super chat for my boy Incel, salute. But what I was saying, a lot of people was mad about Terrence Crawford putting the fight at 147. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm kind of glad Terrence did put the fight at 147. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Because if Errol Spence needed any more motivation, that was the biggest FU to Errol Spence in his face. The biggest one. And I don't blame Terrence Crawford. You know why? Because people box to win. Ain't nobody trying to be a loser. Ain't nobody trying to come in second. Ain't nobody trying to help each other. Because boxing is a solidary sport. And yeah, the average person would have did what they said, but Terrence started looking at it his way. He's been this way his whole time. He ain't showing us nothing new. So why should we act like he has to show us something new? Terrence Crawford, he's in it to get that bread, and he's in it to win it. And a loss right now would derail everything he's coming to. With that being said, Errol Spence now has to focus. He has to dig in. Errol has to go through and give us an immaculate performance. He has to be the Errol before the Ugas fight. Like before this last fight, he has to be the Errol that we signed up to see. The Errol fight that we thought we was going to get in first. That's what this has to be. Earl's going to have to take it back to the basics. Earl's going to have to bring out his Olympic pedigree because people always say that Terrence Crawford's a boxer. Earl is a great boxer as well. That's what people forget. Earl's going to have to bring out the Olympic pedigree. He's going to have to stop trying to bulldoze. And see, I like this because this right here shows me what type of trainer and scholar Derek James really is. Because Derek James is going to have to make some adjustments. Errol Spence is going to have to make some adjustments. So this fight right here is going to show us what greatness really looks like. If you want to be great, then you win this fight. If Errol Spence can win this fight, being the underdog, and we know it's the underdog because So Cold Nelson doesn't let it be known that they know Errol can't make this weight. Even Bud said he has problems making the weight, but they made it be known that this weight is not detriment. Shalom Kwee. So that's like if you know your person has a weakness and you try to exploit it. So that right there, that puts everything against Errol Spence, and I like it. Because when a person has his back against the wall, the only thing you can do with your back against the wall is fight. You gotta gird in, you gotta tighten up, and you gotta fight your way back out of it. And if you're gonna put somebody down, put them all the way down. Don't give them no room. And I like the fact that they're not giving Errol no room. Errol has to come in there. He has to be focused. That means he's gonna have to have his best foot forward. That means he's gonna have to get with Blu-ray, and he's gonna have to get his everything's down pat. He's not gonna be able to half step on nothing. And hopefully, the rib injury is the reason why he looked the way he did because he couldn't spar. I hope that's the reason. Because, like I said, I think the Ugas Errol Spence beats Terrence Crawford. But I want to see him better than that Ugas. Better than that Ugas one. You feel what I'm saying? Like, see, and I know he can do it. But see, this is what's wrong. They don't have a storyline right now. That's the problem. They're looking for a storyline for this fight. This fight has no storyline. But putting the fight at 147 just instantly gave it a storyline. Salute, young world. Salute, King. That just gave this fight a storyline. It's controversy. Bud choosing not to honor the agreement with Errol. And he's forcing Errol to fight a handicap fight. One thing about people in America, they love handicap stories. They love underdog stories. Now, people may not say it, but Bud was the favorite in the first fight. Bud was the overwhelming favorite in the first fight. So now, he's going to probably be a 4-1, 5-1 favorite. And in some people's eyes, there's no way Errol can win this fight. But you got to realize, both of these guys are professional fighters. And we've seen Bud struggle with fighters in the past. We've seen him struggle with Mean Machine. We've seen Bud struggle with Gamboa. We've seen him struggle with Jose Benavidez. We've seen that. Exactly, King Von. That's another thing. He wasn't able to spar because of what happened to his ribs. And that's like sparring. That's how you can knock the dust off your fight game. And without that sparring, that's 3 years of inactivity coming up off the thing and think you about to go shoot a basketball game. Earl didn't have no time to get his time in or nothing back. And his body just wasn't used to it. It just wasn't used to it. It wasn't nothing. Mr. Ishmael, salute, King. Peace and blessings. And if you're not rinsed up, give me like 8-9 minutes and I'll get you right in just a second. I'm out here getting my essential elements real quick. Can't do it in the house. But yeah, so if you can't spar, see, sparring is the technique boxers use to tighten up their game plan, to get themselves sharp in the ring, to make it where they get the holes out their ring. See, Terrence Crawford had a young Shakur Stevenson in there, and Shakur Stevenson, he has impeccable defense. And the way Terrence Crawford stood in front of Errol was boxing, he was boxing a lot like Shakur Stevenson versus Errol Spence. I noticed that. I said, wow. Him and Shakur worked real close with each other this fight because he was looking like Shakur Stevenson out there. But as a boxer, it's a way around that. But see, that's up to Errol and EJ and DJ to figure it out, which I'm pretty sure they're very capable of it. And after the Canelo fight, I heard Charlo's supposed to be helping out Spence this sparring camp. So they're going to have Spence in there. They're going to have Tank in there. And, you know, Charlo is also a boxer puncher as well as a great lateral moving boxer. So that's going to give him, and he's going to get the power with Charlo. And see, that's what people don't realize. He's used to going head-to-head with Charlo. Terrence Crawford's not cracking like Jermell Charlo, especially with both hands. But Errol Spence is going to have to go back to his original format of boxing and not trying to bulldoze. He's going to have to tighten his jab up. He's going to have to work behind the jab. He's going to have to give him different positions, different looks. He's going to have to get hit with angles. He's going to have to come over top of that jab, or he's going to have to evade that jab or roll with it. Yes, all things. He did say that. Yeah, because Shakur is a bad man. I hate to say it, but Shakur is, I don't hate to say it because I love good boxing. Shakur is a bad man. And Bud said that man does things that he can't even do. So, yeah. But I'll tell you this. Errol Spence wheeled himself from a car accident back to boxing. That right there is a feat in itself. He got 3 belts against exquisite fighters. The man beat Danny Garcia, who is a world-class fighter. You can say what you want, but Danny Garcia is a world-class fighter. Errol outboxed him, and he outboxed and outbullied Yordenis Ugas, all while being at the weight class that he's been at too long. And that was less than a year and a half ago. Opinionated boxing, Shalom, Princess. Peace and blessings. So it's possible for Errol to make the weight. He's done it. But he spent too much time inactive and in between. Plus, him and his nutritionist is going to have to get on a better page because they sat there and played with that weight the whole time, eating. And another thing, he don't need to be taking breaks in between his training camp, going to fights, going to Vegas 2 weeks early and all that crap right there. Now, forget all that glitz and that limelight. He stopped training camp 2 weeks early, basically. He needs his full training camp. He needs to make sure he's fully healed so he can spar. And Earl's going to have to put in some good sparring, some good grudge work in there. He's going to have to get his strength and conditioning together. I don't want to see no atrophy Errol Spence in there like he was last time. Earl's got to be the biggest guy in that ring, first off. And Earl's going to have to be strong. He's going to have to be Errol strong. Errol strong means he can take them shots and deliver shots and break bones. I don't need Errol that was flailing around in there. That's not the Errol Spence we're used to. We're used to Errol Spence with a punishing jab. A punishing jab, and what he needs to do is keep his head off the line when he throws that jab at Terrence Crawford. And while Crawford throwing that straight right, Errol throw that straight left down the middle with a punishing jab and make Bud pay for it, as well as pressure Bud. Get him in situations where he can't use it. And make him have to punch in between punches and get Bud to where he has to get uncomfortable. Bud was too comfortable in that fight last time. Errol just has to come there fully recharged and really take the Bud and Spence fight out your mind. Before that fight, we had a whole different opinion of how that fight might go. That's the way you need to look at this fight this time, because that last fight, we're going to say that was a fluke, and none of that right there is about to happen in this fight right here. We're going to see something completely different. Errol knows he got one shot at this. He knows he only got one chance to get his lick back, or this man's going to give him a giant FU. And the whole time, people felt like Errol was better. A lot of them did. And a lot felt like Terrence was better. And we are not blind. We have eye tests. We've seen Errol in fights. We've seen Terrence in fight. We've seen Terrence struggle with people. We've seen Errol struggle. We've seen Errol destroy. We've seen Terrence destroy. So we've seen them at their best, and we've definitely seen Errol at his worst. I think Errol at his best stops Bud at his best. Errol can't be no worse than he was that fight right there. And people can say what they want, but I stand by it. If you ain't threw a punch in almost 3 years because of a rib injury, you're not going to look like nothing in that ring, period. And I knew it was a problem when at first Errol was talking about being the first welterweight undisputed until the week of the fight. He talking to Brian Custard. He said he don't even care about the belts. All he care about is getting paid. So that's when I knew something was wrong. And see, Errol didn't make an excuse, and Errol didn't pull out the fight because remember, this is the same Errol Spence who I was messed up, and he still was trying to fight Manny Pacquiao, and they was telling him he could lose his eye. And what did Errol Spence say? He said, hell, I got two of them. He said, I got two of them. So Errol is willing to risk his body for that paycheck. He will. Remember when Errol hit Sean with that knockdown shot? EJ didn't even follow up with another punch because it was as soon as he landed on Porter, EJ was moving that head. Exactly. And Young World, the crazy thing about it, he didn't even have stricter conditioning when he gave it to Porter. That's why I laugh at Bud when he said Errol has no power. Yes, Errol didn't have nothing when he fought you. But somebody's been in Terrence Crawford's head and let him know, like, look, you got a break on that fight right there, and Earl's not going to be the same. Don't fight that man at 154. He's going to hurt you. And Bud took that to heart. And Bud said, nah, we fighting back at 147. He don't want a level playing field fight, and he knows he's not trying to be in there with a 100% fully rejuvenated Errol. And I mean, that's smart. Because we can say what we want to, but it's about wins and losses. And why set yourself up to lose? You feel what I'm saying? He's not trying to set himself up to lose. He knows what he got at 147, or he think he knows what he got at 147. But, hey, that's what we got to see, and that's what make it that much better. Yeah, all things, if Spence doesn't make weight, then yeah, he don't get a chance at the title. If Spence comes in overweight, the belts are off the table, and they can tell Crawford he doesn't have to fight, or he can fight and Spence and get a penalty. That's what happens when you come in overweight. But yeah, you can't win the belts while you're overweight. That's how you lose the belts on the scale. And you know something, Incel? I can't say definitively whether he'll win or not, but I want to see it. I want to see them both at 100%. I don't want to see an injured Errol Spence or injured Bud Crawford. I want both of them at their healthiest, at their best, at their prime, ready to go with no problems with either one of them. That's what I want. I don't want it to be rumors of Errol has a hurt rib or he weight drained and none of this because he knows about it right now. I don't want to hear Bud he overtrained. I don't want to hear none of that. I want to see both of them get in that ring and do what it do. And so we can get all this shit out the way so we can stop having people see. That's what made the fight so bad in the first place, because people know they wasn't seeing I swear StreamYard be getting on my nerves sometimes. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm back in here, y'all. StreamYard just be acting crazy sometimes. Yes, Incel, he didn't give no excuses, but he said he know what the problem was. He said it was something wrong. He's not going to make no excuse because he got paid. But we all know something happened to the fight. We already knew. We already knew, but he's not making no excuses because you know he's a man. Men don't make excuses. But Incel, bro, I mess with you. You my guy. But you in your mind, you know that was not the same Earl you used to see him, bro. Not the same Earl. You know it, bro. You're not gonna sit there and tell me that that's the same Earl, bro. That's not the Earl that fought Ugas. That's not the Earl that fought Porter. You know that is not the same Earl. That Earl Spence did worse than Mean Machine and David Aronesian. But I mean, you know, that's why a lot of Crawford fans, not saying you, but that's why a lot of Crawford fans are bitter about that victory because they felt like, you know, they got the victory, but they can't really brag because they know that Earl wasn't the best. That wasn't Earl at his Super Saiyan form. That was a base form Earl, and he got based out. He got beat. And that's all it is to it. That's what happened. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me in the thing? Or is my thing still messing up? Is it still messing up or can y'all hear me? Put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me. I guess okay, thank you, Mr. Ishmael. Thank you. And see, that's what I'm saying. And what's making it messed up, I told everybody that the fight wouldn't do but about 700,000, right? I mean, you can brag, Incel, if you bragging, you bragging, bro. You know, I have no problem against it, you know, until the next fight comes. But in your heart of hearts, you know, you didn't see the Earl that you wanted to see. That victory didn't feel as good for you as it would if Earl would have came out there and fought his heart out and then got beat. That victory would have felt a lot better. You know it, bro. And Bud doesn't even like it. That's why we ain't see Bud celebrate the way you normally would see. Bud's still a warrior, even though he does a lot of bull crap outside the ring. He's still a warrior, and in his mind, his victory felt tainted a little bit. It wasn't all the way there for him. And see, he even said before they gonna say he was weight drained. You know, that's how Bud. You know, Bud ain't stupid, but we do have evidence that they know that Earl has a problem at 147. Because if not, the man came out his mouth and said this. Steve Nelson, his best friend now, he said, we think the Earl Spence fight is a waste of time. So we're going to put the fight at 147 so Earl doesn't take it. Now, why would you put a fight at 147 and say somebody won't take it at 147? It's because you know that man had problems making 147 the first time, and you know that man probably can't make 147. That's why we didn't get to see the weigh-in. If y'all notice, they had the weigh-in in private. Usually at a fight of this magnitude with that much money riding on the fight, you get to see a live weigh-in. That way the gamblers get to see what the fighters look like. We didn't get to see how bad Earl really looked at the weigh-in or how Bud looked at the weigh-in. We seen them hours after they done rehydrated some. We didn't get to see them at the cusp of the weigh-in. They hid that from us. We really don't even know if they both made weight all the way because we didn't see it. And they wasn't going to stop that fight regardless. That's why they have private weigh-ins like that. When there's a fight of that magnitude, nothing's going to stop that fight. Nothing. Just like they said, Bud was 1.5 pounds over at first. Come on now. I think they both came in a little over. Yeah, yes, all things. That ceremonial weigh-in is bad for business, it's bad for boxing. Because you don't get to see how a person looks, how weak they really is. Because it just show how weak you is at that weigh-in. That's how a lot of people judge who they gonna pick. You see how tough that training camp was on somebody? Be like, oh nah, he weight drained. He's not gonna make it. Yeah, if you was in Vegas, you got to see it. That's where the money counts at. But we didn't get to see it. Just like we didn't see the Devin Haney and Loma weigh in. And hell, Devin had problems making weight against Loma. And you see Devin starting to gas out in the fight. Weight drain sucks. And you have to be a hell of a fighter and have hell of a willpower to fight through being weight drained. And I'm just keeping it real. You have to. But Bud right now is looking for legacy, he says. But what it is, he's looking for the biggest bag. A year ago, they asked Bud, would he ever go up to fight Canelo? And Bud said, no. The highest I'll probably go is 154. I'm not going up there to fight Canelo. That's too big. That's what Bud said then. But they've been pushing for Errol and Bud for Errol and Canelo for almost 4 or 5 years now. And now that Bud has beaten Errol, now Bud wants everything that is Errol's. And that's why I say it's jealousy. Bud wants everything that was supposed to be Errol's. Like, he wants to be Errol. Honestly. That's why a lot of his fans, not this, and when I say a lot of his fans, I'm talking about the wishy-washy fans. I'm not talking about the people that die hard Bud, like my man Tim Stoudemire, Rick Timms, Incel, Drink More Water. I'm not talking about people like them. They're real Bud fans. I'm talking about the casuals. The ones that as soon as your guy loses, they're going to switch teams. Like the ones that always got a team in the Super Bowl party because every year their team makes it to the Super Bowl party because every year they have a new team. I'm talking about those type of people. And see, Bud, he seen that paycheck he got with Errol Spence. And he didn't know you can make that type of money in a fight. You got to realize his biggest payday was the Sean Porter fight. A little bit over $6.5 million. So, you know, this man made generational wealth. This man has made more money than he's made his entire career combined in one fight. Now he feels like he's been wasting his boxing career. And now he's trying to catch up and make as much as he can in a little bit of time now. He probably has 1.5 to 2.5 good years left of boxing, and he's trying to get cashed out before he goes. That's what he's trying to do. He's 3 years older than Canelo, basically, and he's trying to get that paycheck. But the good thing about Bud is Bud hasn't took a lot of damage in his fights because most of his fights have basically been C and D level fighters. So he really has a young boxing career, really, because he hasn't been through the wars yet. He hasn't been put through the trials and tribulations of having a rough and tumble fight. He hasn't. While his fighters like Errol has been through the gauntlet. And see, people ask me, they say, why do you think they only gonna do 700,000? That fight gonna do 1.5 million. Well, that fight gonna do 2 million. And I calmly told them, I say 750 at the most. Not at the least, but at the most. Because for one, and like I've been telling people for the longest, Bud does not sell. His fan base is toxic and they do not purchase his fights. They do not support his fights. Most of his fan base is the same as him. And like I said, when I talk about Bud's fan base, the people that I named, they're not included in this because they're real boxing fans. I'm talking about, dude, I told y'all which ones I'm talking about. But what I'm saying is, these guys, they fire stick the fights. They're like Bud and Bomac. They're petty, they're jealous, they're evil-spirited and mean-hearted. And they're not about to put their money out there. WDA, salute, King. Hold on one second. Let me make sure my guy Mr. Ishmael is wrenched up as well. But see, and that's what they hate to admit. Like they want Bud to be number one. They want him to be the A side, but Bud could be the A side, but he's not the cash cow. He's not the placeholder. He's not the money man. He's not Willy Wonka and the golden ticket. That's not Bud. And he will never be, because he's done sabotaged his career. He's done sabotaged himself. And PBC has tried to rebuild Bud because Bob Arum has sat there and wasted Bud's career by not promoting him right. And now PBC, they're trying. Exactly, WD. And PBC is trying to give Bud an olive leaf and promote him correctly. But now he's full of himself. He's like one of them people that got so much to prove to everybody. The ones that care about you and mess with you, you give them your ass to kiss. But the ones that don't care about you, that's the ones who you trying to damn get, like sucking up to. Like, come on, guy. Don't be like that. All right, Mr. Ishmael, I got you right in there, buddy. Hold on, let me make sure everybody up. Okay. There, that should be it right there. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you like this. No, exactly, Mr. Ishmael, it does. Some people don't deserve fame. Some people don't know how to control it. Some people don't know what to do. That's why some people are in the position that they're in life, because if they have too much, then they wouldn't know how to let it, like it just takes advantage of them. I'm about to give y'all some numbers, matter of fact. People want Bud to be this big cash cow and this big A side, but this is the reason why I said Errol wouldn't do more than 700,000 versus Bud, because Errol was basically going to be setting a fight for himself. See, Errol has always been a big seller, and he's worked with what little bit he's had. But I'm going to tell you like this, right? Bud had July of 2016, Bud did a pay-per-view with Victor Postol. They had 50,000 pay-per-view buys in that fight. The fight generated $3.6 million. 50K pay-per-view buys, $3.6 million. Y'all listen to that, right? Now, I'm just giving you the pay-per-view numbers without the gates. This is without the gate. I think the Postol gate was like maybe 100, 200,000, probably. Amir Khan was Bud's best pay-per-view without Errol Spence. He did 150,000 buys, and the fight generated 10,500,000, and that's without the gate. Versus Sean Porter, he had 135,000 pay-per-view buys, which was 9,448,650. So let's just say $9,449,000, right? Against Avernesian, he had 10K pay-per-view buys at $40. That's $400,000. $400,000. And the gate was under 500,000. So that fight didn't even generate $1 million altogether. And with the recent studies, Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford did 680,000. So they did 59 million in pay-per-view buys. This is the numbers I just looked up. They did 59 million pay-per-view buys in dollars, right? So versus Sean Porter, they did roughly 99.5 million, roughly, right? Sean Porter got 4 million, Bud got 6 million. That's 10 million. So they already 500K in the hole with that pay-per-view fight. Amir Khan fight, they did 10.5 million. Didn't Amir Khan get 7 and Bud get 6? That's 13 million. So they're minus 2.5 million in that fight. The post-all fight, Bud got like 2, and I think post-all got like 1.5, 1.6. They broke even on that one. The David Avanesian fight, Bud got 4.8 million, while Avanesian got 1 million. That's 5 million. They made 400,000 in pay-per-view and was under 500 for the gate. They lost so much money in that fight. In the Spence fight, they both got $30 million guarantees. They made 59 million on the pay-per-view buys. So technically they lost 1 million. But I'm not factoring in the gate. See, the gate made sure that they was good, plus it paid the undercard, and plus they had promotions. But with the caliber, like, they didn't make really nothing extra because the guarantees. Like, it was right on the head. But let's look at this. Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia. That did 360,000 buys. And it made 39 million. 39 million. So Errol and Mikey both got 17 million. That left the PBC with even more. Danny Garcia and Errol Spence did 270,000, which was 18,750,000. That was 18,750. Errol got 10, Danny got 7. PBC was plus 1.7 million. Sean Porter and Errol, they did 350,000 pay-per-view buys. The fight brought in 26,250,000. And I think Errol got 12 and Sean got 10. The PBC had 4 million extra. After that, the Yadenas Ugas, 270,000 buys. But it did more than them. It did 32,125,000. Salute, Just Do. Salute, King. Now, let me make sure I drop this link. Anybody want to get up here with me? I thought I had dropped it. Shawad, I don't think Shawad got it right now. So let me, Akello, salute, King. But yeah, Errol Spence and Ugas, that's 32 million. And Errol got 15, Ugas got 12. And these are just the pay-per-view monies. So they still had an additional 4 million. And this is not including Errol Spence gates. Each time Errol Spence does his pay-per-view buys, the PBC still clears a couple extra million without the gate. Without the gate. Terrence Crawford, I showed you on all 5 of his pay-per-views, they don't even cover the money. That's why Bob Arum said he could build a house in Beverly Hills with the money that he's lost trying to promote Terrence Crawford. That's why. And that is the reason why I said when you had Earl and Terrence, I said it won't do more than 700,000. Because I knew Earl could carry his side of the load. But I knew Crawford's side doesn't like to pay. They don't like to pay to play. They like to get theirs for free. Knockdown boxing, salute, King. Let me make sure I hollered at everybody just came in. Okay. Shakur Baruka Monster Reconnaissance, salute, King. And that's what I'm saying. So everybody sitting there talking about Earl fight will be a waste of time, a waste of money. So Terrence Crawford, you must know you can't sell. Because Errol has been selling his whole career. He is a cash cow as well. That's why people walked in the ring to fight Errol. That's why people wanted to fight Errol, because they knew they get that paycheck. They knew they get that paycheck. But you can't say the same. And see, if you the big star right now, then you should be able to take this rematch with Errol and know that you would sell just to get the rematch, because you are the big star now, but you're not. And he understands that. That's why I was telling people, Keith Thurman and Errol Spence would have did more than Terrence Crawford and Errol. You got the most iconic fight in the last 40 years. Undisputed for welterweight. Never been done at 4-belt era. Both fighters are undefeated. And you mean to tell me Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia doubled your output. Doubled your output. Salute, Bill Haney. This is what I'm saying. So you mean to tell me that Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia doubled the output of one of the most significant fights in the history of boxing, at least for the last 40 years. And that's what I say. Terrence Crawford doesn't sell. Terrence Crawford and his fans, they sit there trying to push this narrative. Without Errol Spence, who is he going to fight? And then they talk about Tim Tszyu would be a great fight. Tim Tszyu hasn't did a pay-per-view yet. You fight Tim Tszyu if you want to. I would love to see PBC let him have that fight. I say give them both a low guarantee and let them get what they, because PBC going to give you a low guarantee and then you're going to get to eat what you kill. Oh, yeah, Haney versus Regis November. I'm damn sure going to watch that fight. Excuse me. I'm just hoping that Devin Haney is, like I said, what happened to Errol. Is a power that's put in a bottle and they can only display a certain amount of it because they're weight drained. I'm hoping that with the additional use of his weight and his power, that Devin can hit with more power. Because, like I said, I used to box as well. And if that's the real Bill Haney, I remember you offer everything boxing we talked. Coach Biddy, salute, my guy, salute. Check, see if that's the real Bill Haney, man. Ain't gonna have nobody in here. Make sure ain't nobody in here trying to daggone. Salute, Coach Biddy. They ain't the real Bill Haney, but it's all good. I mean, if you want the link right there, Bill Haney, you can hop up there if you want to, my guy. But yeah, exactly, young word. That's why I went to go look at one subscriber. Nah, Bill Haney got more than that, buddy. But I'm gonna drop the link though, just in case anybody want to hop up here. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. So exactly, Kawhi. They want to keep capping and hoping we believe the lies and everything, but it's not. And see, that's why I say, let Bud get a fight post Errol Spence. And like I said, he done made this daggone, he done made BLK go bankrupt for the 12th time. The 12th time. They didn't even bring $1 million out the fight, including the gates and the pay-per-view buys. And they had to give him $4 million, plus they had to pay Aphrodisian. That's why the undercard did not get paid. That's why Adrian Broner did not get paid. Bud Crawford single-handedly bankrupted them for the 12th time. They had a 500% loss in profits. And y'all saying that this man is the cash cow now. He the superstar. Can't be if y'all don't want to pay for the fights. And see, Bud make you not even want to pay for his fights because he alienates his fans. Talking about, why should I worry about people that's going to support me anyway? Or the UK fans are better. Like, that makes me not want to keep spending my money watching this fight. But I love the sport of boxing. So I've done bought all of his pay-per-views. I even had BLK Prime trying to charge me twice. That's why I'm glad I did that thing on the daggone prepaid card. Because they damn sure tried to double swipe my card a couple times. But yeah. You know what, King? And see, that's why I be telling people, boxing is a fickle sport. And one thing about boxing, what goes around comes around, and everything done under the sun. Notice Earl Spence is on radio silence right now. That man ain't saying nothing. Earl ain't did an interview. He ain't speaking to nobody. When I talked to Derrick James one time, and it was busy because Earl technically ain't supposed to be in the gym right now. So I ain't saying I seen him in there or not. I'm just saying, Earl's been doing what he's got to do, where he got to do it at, but it's been quiet. He ain't doing no interviews. Earl's getting himself together. While Bud's still out here, he's doing this and that, trying to promote himself, trying to get to a Canelo fight. Canelo Alvarez came. Coach Amber, salute, Princess. The link out there if you want to hop up here. You did good yesterday. It's your first time if you want to get up here. But Canelo Alvarez looked and said, why would I fight Terrence Crawford? He doesn't sell. This is what Canelo said. He said, but why? It don't make it no money. It didn't make it no money. He's trash on money. No money. Who he make money with? That's what Canelo say. Even Canelo know that you had the biggest fight. Canelo knows if he does a fight with Errol Spence, it'll be 1.5 pay-per-view on the low end. Not to mention a $30 million gate. Errol Spence, Canelo Alvarez, 100,000 pay-per-view. 100,000 people in Dallas Cowboy Stadium. And the stadium tickets gonna be high. And usually the tickets don't be high at the stadium, but for Canelo and Errol Spence, it's gonna be high. You're gonna have half of Mexico over there, you're gonna have all of Texas, and you're gonna have the rest of the world trying to get in to watch that fight. Because that was the fight. And Terrence Crawford knows that was the fight, so now he wants the fight. But the difference is, Terrence Crawford, you can't sell. You cannot sell. Your biggest fight was $150K with Amir Khan. You did $136,000 with Showtime Sean Porter. You did $680,000 with Errol the Truth Spence. So yeah, anybody Terrence Crawford fight, he's gonna be upset with. Especially now that he's signed to Al Haymon and PBC because they don't give them big guarantees. You got that big guarantee because the Errol Spence fight. Any other fight, you're not getting a big guarantee unless you fight Jerron Moose Ennis, which you claim is not a good enough fight for you. So whoever he fights, he's not going to get a big guarantee versus Jermell Charlo. He's not going to get the Canelo Alvarez fight because Canelo signed for 3 fights and then he's retiring. And Jermell Charlo and Jamal Charlo are 2 of them fights on there. And if Jermell Charlo win, then that's 3 fights. And he might not fight Jamal Charlo and just go to the Errol Spence fight. Because the Errol Spence-Canelo fight is still the fight that Canelo Alvarez signed for. Exactly, Coach Amber. He signed for that fight. They was offering him the Errol Spence fight and the David Benavidez fight for $100 million. But Brock Howard, salute, King. But Canelo turned it down because he had to fight either David Benavidez or Jamal Charlo first for $45 million. Then he had to fight Errol for $55 million. He turned it down. But Errol Spence, even though he lost to Crawford, is still the last name on Canelo Alvarez's contract. And Crawford, you don't do enough to even think to get in between that. You thinking just because you won that you could throw your weight around, don't nobody care about that. You got that money because Errol Spence wanted to fight you. Then you try to make a name trying to call out Danny Garcia and Keith Thurman. Danny Garcia's not even thinking about you, man. Danny Garcia's done made paydays with Errol Spence. He's not thinking about you, bro. Danny Garcia's at the 160 division trying to fight Erislandy Lara for his belt. So how are you sitting there calling him out? Brock Howard, salute, King. Somebody just delete Brock Howard or something? Hey, Brock Howard, see if you can talk, man. I thought I seen somebody show that you got deleted when I made you a moderator or something. Okay, yeah, you good. Oh, MDA, Brock family, bro. But yeah, so Terrence Crawford fans are trying to make it seem like it's legacy and everything. He good now, tsyuh, because I made him. I seen him get clipped by somebody, and I made him a moderator. I didn't know why they clipped him, but nah, I ain't let my guy Brock get the clip. But yeah, that's what I was gonna tell people. Like, okay, I know y'all know Terrence Crawford's a great fighter. Ain't nobody taking that away from Terrence Crawford. Yes, he is a great fighter. The man is like poetry in motion inside that ring. But just because you're a great fighter doesn't mean that you're the best in the or the face of boxing or that you sell. Look at Charlie Burley. Look at them boys at the damn Murderers Row. Exactly. Sugar Ray Robinson ducked them guys at the Murderers Row. Charlie Burley and them, they tried to fight Sugar Ray Robinson and he didn't fight them. They had to fight each other. Yes. Did you get the link, Coach Amber? Because you can hop up here as soon as you're ready. But yeah, Charlie Burley tried to fight Sugar Ray Robinson, and Sugar Ray Robinson ducked him his whole career. And I like Sugar Ray Robinson, but 50% of the fights that Sugar Ray Robinson had was against people that didn't even fight. People that was in gym, that was sparring partners. Sugar Ray Robinson is asking they want to fight, come in and knock him out. Not messing with his goodness, because he was great. But I'm just saying that was a lot of his fights. And see, just because you're the best fighter don't mean you sell. And Terrence Crawford, he's by far one of the best fighters out there. But the negativity, his aloofness, and his self-righteousness makes it where it feels like he's like untouchable. Like people don't want to try to get close to him because he doesn't give a damn about people. He disrespects us, especially when you're saying UK fans are better than American fans. Like that's gonna bring you down a peg right there. That's gonna bring you down a peg. I'm sorry. Just like, okay, who's another one? Who's another one? Who's at the door, Jalen? Who? Hold on 1 second, people. Y'all give me 1 second. There's somebody at my door. Hold on. Well, I can talk to y'all while I'm going. But no, Bivol beat exactly, Coach Amber. Bivol beat Canelo. Bivol only got 6-7 million for that Canelo fight. And he's still nowhere near the cash cow. Huh? Okay, well, yeah. Are you gonna grab it? Yeah. Well, go ahead. I'm right here. I'm right here. It's for his printer. I said I'm right here. I got it. I see my Go ahead and grab it, Jaden. I said I'm right here. He needs someone to sign it. Oh, I got a sign for it. I got it. Yeah, y'all hold on 1 second. Oh. Oh. Damn. You're supposed to be moving like this. Welcome to the stage, 2 Cent. Go ahead and cook up while I'm doing this for my son.
What up, y'all? What's going on? I'm not too sure what the subject title about. I'm just hopping on here.
We was talking about why Bud ain't the cash cow and how I just broke down all the pay-per-views he did and stuff.
Yeah, I just seen a video with Fanon.
How you doing?
I had stopped it and hopped on the live. He was talking about how, I don't know, Terrence Crawford was saying. First of all, let me say this about Terrence Crawford and his team. They put these narratives out there so we can sit on YouTube and talk about them. So I honestly believe that this is his marketing ploy to keep his name out there and to keep people talking about him. So with that being said, I'm gonna keep talking about him. But Fanon just put a video out saying that they don't want to fight Spence now, that there's not enough money. They want to fight Tim Tszyu.
Exactly. See, that's what I was talking about. And see, what they don't realize is Tim Tszyu is not even a damn pay-per-view star.
He's not no star.
Yeah, exactly. But they thinking that they trying to show people that look, they think because Devin Haney had that fight with Camboso, and Devin Haney and them, they had 40,000 in the fans. Like that, actually, Cambosos and the government in Australia
Hey,
paid for that fight.
let me take this phone call real quick. I'm gonna call you right back. I'm gonna get
All
back
right,
on.
okay, but like I was telling people, like Devin Haney, he fought Cambosos. And both times that Devin Haney fought Cambosos, it was a packed stadium, 40,000 plus, 38,000 plus. So I guess Bud feel like if he fights Tim Tszyu over in Australia, it'll be a packed crowd and he'll get a payday or something like that. But I tell you like this, if the government ain't paying for that fight, I don't know what Bud think he gonna get because PBC is not about to give him a huge. That is not gonna be a huge guarantee. Period. See, he's not going to be able to get off that rematch people's choice, but that's why he put the fight at 147. They put the fight at 147 so they think Errol won't take the rematch. So he don't want Errol to take the rematch so he can fight Tim Tszyu. And see, fighting Tim Tszyu, I'm telling you, that fight won't do over 200,000 pay-per-view buys. If that. And I'll tell you one thing, that it ain't going to be an $85 pay-per-view for one. But the fact that Tim Tszyu does have some fans in Australia, I feel like Tim Tszyu could do about 100,000 by himself. Tim Tszyu could do about 100,000, and maybe Bud could do about 100,000, maybe. But I don't know because he's done alienated a lot of his fans, even some of his good fans. Like Bud's done alienated some of his good fans, but Tim
Well,
Tszyu could
even
probably
to make the statement that the UK fans are better, like you just alienated your whole
yeah.
US fan base.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying because Devin Haney and Cambosos, they made some money. Well, Cambosos made some money versus Devin Haney. Like they had a packed out stadium twice, 40,000 and 38,000 in Australia. Plus, the government sponsored that fight and everything. But
So he would get more to fight. He thinks he would get more than Boots or Thurman if he fought Tim Tszyu.
well, just think about it like this, right? If he goes over to Australia, right, and let's say they have a packed out stadium, they could probably make about 8 to 10 million in the stadium, right? Then he probably thinking they do some pay-per-view numbers or something. I don't know, but I don't know what he's thinking. I'm not in that man's mind. But his biggest payday is always going to be Errol Spence or Canelo Alvarez. But Canelo already said he's not fighting him because he's saying the man's not a draw. And Canelo said that he'd be the one carrying the pay-per-view like Errol Spence did. So
Yep.
why would Canelo risk a fight with Terrence Crawford where he's got to carry the whole pay-per-view? He can go out there and fight a bum and do the same pay-per-view numbers and get
And know for sure he gonna win. Like
all the
it
money.
don't make sense. It like why would Canelo fight Crawford? Like what is in it for Canelo beats
With Caleb
Crawford?
Plant.
Then what?
Canelo did 800,000 with Caleb Plant, 1.2 with Triple G. He did 600K with John Ryder on the zone. Come on, man. He doesn't need Crawford. Crawford did 680K with Errol Spence, the biggest fight in the last 40 years, and they got doubled by Ryan and Tank. That's why I told people they wouldn't do more than 700,000 because Bud is not a seller. And Bud doesn't have the fans that's going to sell. And then for them to say that the Errol Spence fight is a waste of time, I'm happy he said that. So I want him to go out there and fight a fight without Errol so he can see what his bottom line is. so he can see what his market value is. Because, like I showed everybody, the man had 50,000 buys versus Victor Postol, 136,000 versus Sean Porter, 150K with Amir Khan, and 10,000 versus David Avenesian. And in all four of those pay-per-view fights, they lost billions of dollars. That's why Bob Arum said, I could build a house in Beverly Hills with the money I lost from Terrence Crawford. That whole boy, salute, King. Big Shaq, the God, salute. People's Choice, salute. For everybody I didn't holler at, all right. Go ahead, Coach Amber and 2 Cent.
So is Tim Tszyu a PBC fighter?
Yes, he is.
Okay. I don't know.
I just want to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It just seems like Terrence Crawford wants to fight everybody but who he needs to be fighting. And to me, it's just not making sense. And this whole, it's not enough money to fight Spence, it's not enough this to do this. Like, why does he think that he's calling shots like that? Like, I feel like him and Spence could have made $100 million off this trilogy, possibly. Why is he messing it up?
They made more than that because they made 30 something the first fight, right? You know, usually the second fight usually do more. And just say Spencer's to win this fight. Then the trilogy, the third fight would have done more. They would have made about 120 million apiece.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So why would you call your own event a waste of time? If Spence say he's taking a rematch, you sitting here saying that your own event that you're getting paid for from the viewers is a waste of time. I just don't understand that logic.
And this is what gets me, right? In the fight with Spence, where he did all the heavy lifting, where his fans did all the buying, you made more money in that one fight than you made in your entire career combined. In your entire career combined, you made in one night versus Spence. Says CM, salute. It's like he wants the Canelo fight. Basically, that's the only fight Bud really wants. And he thinks he's going to jump in line, but what he don't realize is it was Charlo, and Spence on that contract. And just because you beat Spence doesn't make you a bigger draw than Spence. He wants to take Spence's face off of that contract and put his name there. Because everybody knows Canelo is the cash cow. Tank Davis is the cash cow. Errol was the cash cow, but you know Errol took too much time off. So you know Errol wasn't as big as he used to be. But he's still a big draw.
But I think he a big draw because he has a story and people are going to want to continue to see him persevere and overcome.
He's trying to stick and move. He's trying to stick and move, and he's trying to go after as much money as he can. But what he don't realize is you signed to Al Haymon and PBC. You don't want to fight? Okay, cool. They're going to put you in a fight where you don't get no guarantee, and you're going to have to earn what you kill. And you're going to pick the wrong fight, and you're going to end up getting $2 to $3 million damn dollars. That's what you're going to end up doing.
If I can interject here, just to salute to the chat. But like, let's not forget who we're talking about here. We're talking about, Bud Crawford, the same man who got on IG Live and admitted to the whole world that he doesn't believe in his fans. He told Errol, "Look, this fight ain't gonna sell." Like, and at me personally, as a fan, I'm offended. Because that means you don't believe in me. Like you don't. I mean, first of all, I'm not a Bud fan.
He told us he don't believe in us.
First of all, that man is toxic. But my relationship with Bud fans is toxic because I don't like him because he doesn't like his own fans, and his own fans don't like me because I don't like him because he don't like them. Like it's a toxic circle.
Salute to my guy, People's Choice hold on one second. Salute to People's Choice for the $20 super chat. Salute, King, salute. Your contribution is appreciated on the channel, sir. Thank you. Go ahead, Coach Amber.
And Shakur's in the title, birds of a feather. Again, I am a registered USA boxing coach. Like I am active. I have my license.
I know you.
I literally watched Shakur come up through the rankings, fighter of the tournament, nationals, all that good stuff. And I was rooting for him. until he came out and said, "Oh, well, if you picked Earl Spence to beat Crawford, then you're a casual." I was like, "Damn, baby boy, why'd you say that?" And I immediately hit the bell and said, "Let me off on the next stop." And that's why I can't support Shakur. Now, I mean, I don't know. He always had this bit of arrogance about him, which is why I never asked him to take pictures with my kid. But at the end of the day, I saw him grow up, so I naturally just wanted him to succeed. And I can't support any fighter that shits on the fans because we're the ones that line their pockets.
Oh, I feel that wholeheartedly right there. Once you tell me you don't want my money, I'm gonna stop giving it to you. And like the only reason I bought the David Avanesian fight because hell, it was $40. So I went ahead and bought it. And plus, I like boxing. Tyrese Blue, salute, King. You can get back up here if you want to. But yeah, Terrence Crawford, he doesn't respect his fans, and then he wonders why he doesn't sell. But see, that's what I was showing, like in the in the Mikey Garcia fight, Earl Spence in that one fight sold more than all 4 of Terrence Crawford's other pay-per-views. Brought in more revenue in one fight than Crawford did in 4. And that's what people don't look and think. That's why I be trying to tell people, like, look, Earl didn't need Crawford. If Crawford would have turned Earl down, he would have fought Canelo first instead of Jamil. Earl still has Virgil Ortiz, which is sell, Keith Thurman, which is sell. He can fight Fundora, Brian Castano. Like, Earl Spence has options. Earl Spence has a fan base, and Earl Spence has one place he can go to. He has a cheat code because all he has to do is put it in Dallas Cowboys Stadium. They're going to pack it out, and he's going to make money, period. Earl Spence can always fall back on the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Reedy Gonzalez, salute, King. And that's what Bud don't
Between me and
realize. He
you,
doesn't have the stadium.
but between me and you, I think Canelo would still fight Earl because he knows he's going to
He's still
bring the
going to
asses in
fight
the
him. He
seats.
still
He
last
for
on
sure
that.
will fight him now
He
after the
brings the
loss.
paper.
Canelo still has Earl last on that contract. That's still his last fight. It's not going nowhere.
I think Canelo would still fight him, even with the loss, because I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Canelo's been to Cowboy Stadium. He knows how we come up and show out.
Why
So
would he?
even
And Canelo got
with the
losses
loss, I
too.
think he
I think the loss
exactly, and
made
he's
more
also
sense for
fought people
Canelo.
with losses.
You hear me? I think the loss made Canelo. Want Earl even more. Honestly, because Earl is not going to be a diminished fighter because he has one loss. Period. That's not Earl Spence. That's not his fan base. See, he doesn't have a Terrence Crawford fan base. The ones of us that's been with Earl, we've been with Earl through the damn wreck, through the eye surgery. We done followed. Just like Roy Jones was my favorite fighter. When he lost the
I mean,
Tarver, I still rock with Roy. Even when he was getting beat by Joe Calzaghe and them, I was mad that he still was fighting, but I'm gonna keep watching because I was a fan. And I feel like Earl Spence is gonna show out even more now that he done got his loss, because now he's more focused. And he knows what it is, and he knows what it's like to get styled on, for one. And for two, Canelo knows regardless. AJ lost twice to Usyk, and he's still a draw. He got his ass whooped by Andy Ruiz, and he still was the A side. When you become
I think
an A side star and you build your brand is built. Like Canelo, people know Canelo lost to Floyd Mayweather. They know he lost to Errol Laura, and they will overlook the fact that he lost to Laura and give him that win. They know he lost to Bivol. They say he lost to Triple G, but his fans don't give a damn about that. They give a damn about it's Canelo. And that's what people don't realize. When you have a fan base, you have a fan base. Look how many losses Manny Pacquiao had. His fan base still was one of the most toxic.
Well, I don't know why people think they're not supposed to lose. That's the thing. Like, what sport do you not lose? Of course, they got fighters that haven't lost, but that's not the norm.
Those are anomalies.
So everybody like, oh, Fitz washed up. Nobody gonna watch his fights. Nobody gonna like. Why do y'all think that?
If Floyd would have kept
Because
on fighting, he
boxing
would have
fans
took
are
a loss.
toxic. Boxing
If Floyd
fans.
would have kept fighting, he would have took a loss. But Floyd got out when he was at his top. Floyd left the game at his prime. A lot of fighters don't leave the game at their prime. They want to keep going. But Floyd made enough money where he didn't have to keep subjecting himself to the violence in the boxing. That's why on his 50th fight, he took damn Conor McGregor.
Personally, I feel like Bud is upset that Earl's fans didn't abandon him because of the loss.
That's what it
You know,
is.
I had somebody, you know, I had a personal experience and about jealousy. And I was like, why would, you know, why would this person be jealous of me? They make more money than me. They drive a better car than me. They live in a better house than me.
But they
And
ain't
then my
got your
OG
respect.
set me down
But they ain't got
and
the
he was
respect.
like, yeah, he was like, sometimes people are jealous of the way other people love you. It has nothing to do with materialistic things. And I feel like that's what's eating at Bud. He feels like, well, I beat y'all's hero. Why do y'all still love him?
Exactly. And that's why his fans do the same thing. Like his fans be trying to berate us and try to make us switch, but we not switching because we like who we like. Like it ain't just about wins and losses. We done watched this man career blossom. We watched him from from the damn first fight to this fight, to the car accident to the eye surgery, from the fat camps to the strength and conditioning to the 12 straight knockouts with Blu-ray. We've seen it all. And that's what against Bud, he felt like, all right, I beat Errol, so I'm supposed to take his spot. Bivol didn't take Canelo's spot when he beat him. Andy Ruiz didn't take AJ's spot when he beat him, nor Usyk. AJ has lost 3 out of the last 6 fights. And he's still a big draw. Like when you locked in solid and you done built your fan base. Matter of fact, look at Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora gets his ass whooped. Look at Anthony Yard. They both be getting their ass whooped, but they fans still love them. Riverside Rocky, people still cheer for him. Like people, it's not about wins or losses. It's how you go out there and fight, how you take on the battle, how you a challenge. If you shy away from it or if you fight heads on, and that's what people loves. All that shady backroom double talking shit. That's what makes you lose fans when you do that shady, that backroom double talking, all that crap right there. That's what we don't like as fans, and that's what makes your fan base what it is. And I feel like most
Believe it or not, if you love the fans, they'll love you back.
exactly, and I feel like the fans that he have, not all of them, like I say, but most of the fans that he has, they see themselves in Bud because they'll do a lot of that shady backyard shit as well. That's why they like Bud and his team. I'm not saying all of them because, like I said, I got like 6 or 7 Crawford fans that I rock with that they really good people and they really like just Bud. They don't even
And
agree.
you know what I don't understand how people say, Terrence Crawford don't Earl Spence nothing. He don't got to do the fight at 154. And like you said, the people that's agreeing with this and saying this will do that same shady stuff. Okay, I get it. It's in the contract. Cool. But how can y'all?
The reason why we're mad is because Terrence Crawford admitted that without Errol, he wouldn't have got this fight. That Errol got him this chance. He would have never had this chance without Errol. And then he sat there and said, I had problems making 147 as well. So, yeah, we can do it at 154. That's why people are upset because you should have never said we could do it at 154.
I think he wants to make a fool of Errol. That's why I feel like that's why he said that. He wants to make a fool of Errol. Or either that or all this is being staged. Because for you to sit there and call Errol on the phone and talk to him and Errol be like, you know what, I listened to his grievances. Some of it he said I agree with. It was true. So because he felt this way and this and this and that, I did this for him. But when it comes to be at 154, y'all like, oh no, it's in the contract. That's the type of thinking I don't understand.
But see, this is what it was, right? See, Errol, he sat there and he gave Errol that sob story about how the networks and them always getting over on us.
I gotta take a phone call. I'll be right back.
All right. So, he sat there and gave Errol that sob story on how the networks be doing us dirty and how all we got is each other as boxers and all this right here, and how we got to stick together to get what we want and everything. So he played on Earl's manhood. That's Earl's
Damn. Do
man.
you think that's why he mentioned the sanctioning bodies?
Yeah. So yeah, and I think that's why Earl said what he said about the sex.
Man, that didn't even cross my mind.
Exactly. See, I was gonna bring that up too, in a video, but Hill is out here now. But I felt like he played on Earl, and Earl sat there and went at the sanctioning bodies and said this and that and all that, right? And now I felt like, Crawford felt like he owed Earl because, Earl did this for him. But then Crawford started thinking that when he beat Earl, that he was going to beat Earl everything that Earl was. And see, the fact that we didn't leave Earl and flock behind Crawford and all this right here. And he like, well, I beat y'all hero. So see, now I think that he wants to have Earl come back. If Earl going to fight me again at a disadvantage, and he's going to try to punish Earl and try to make an example like, yeah, this is your hero. Look, I punished him twice. See, that's what he's going to try to
Hey,
do.
even
And what's going
even
to be
Superman died and was still loved. Even
exactly.
Superman died and was still loved.
But guess what? He forgets that just a year and a half ago, Earl was in that ring with Ugas and he was good. Don't think what you did last time will be like it was this time. See, he's mad that he didn't get Earl's fans. And he's mad that he's not the big draw. He thought that if I finally beat somebody, then I get all the damn accolades and all the fame and all the love that I'm supposed to get. And he feel like he ain't getting it because he didn't earn it. Because his ways and actions make it where people don't want to give a fuck about him. And that's what he does. But what he's gonna do, he's thinking that he's gonna get Earl back at a disadvantage, and he's gonna try to do Earl real dirty. He's gonna come out there and try to punish Earl. But what he's gonna get a rude awakening because it's not gonna be the same Earl that you fought that first fight. You're gonna get that Lamont Peterson, that nigga with the shad with Blu-ray back. And that's what's gonna make it that much sweeter because karma is hell. But karma is real as well. And the same thing that you do to people, it comes back to you. And the same energy that you push out, it comes back. And when it comes back, it's hell. And the same people that you passed on your way up will be the same people looking at you on your way back down. So when Bud goes against Earl again, I'm telling you, Earl has his back against the wall. He has nothing to lose. And everybody doesn't give him a chance. But didn't nobody give him a chance to come back after that car accident either. They didn't give him a chance against Ugas or Danny Garcia coming off of the retina surgery and the car accident. And he proved both times, both wrong, right? Now Earl, he got his back against the wall. He has nothing holding back. And he got Derrick James. People think, okay, Derrick James had the loss. Yeah, but Derrick James was still giving him good advice. Earl just couldn't do it. But guess what? They're gonna have Jamil Charlo back in that training camp. They're gonna have Tank Davis, and they're gonna have Earl the best as Earl's been. You want to sit there and get Earl at his weakness, and that's the best way to get somebody. Attack their strengths, not their weakness. See, Bud, he's trying to kick Earl while he down, and he gonna kick Earl while he down. And he gonna end up with a broken leg, and that's what I'm telling you. That's why I said this is the setup for a great movie right here. Like
I
you can
mean,
tell when you get a certain feeling when you see something and you be like, wow. Like you get a certain feeling. And that's why I say when you watch how this is playing out, this is the play of a great movie playing out right in front of us. And like I said, the way this thing is playing, it's gonna come out just like a great movie. And we're gonna be like, damn, we knew this, it's gonna be a blockbuster. Bud has made himself the villain while Earl is the hero, right? And the hero got destroyed, and now the hero got to come back. And 90% of the movies, the hero wins at the end. You
I
feel me?
mean, like I
Bud,
said,
Bud
speaking
Clubber
of
Lang
heroes, even
destroyed
Superman
Rocky.
died and was loved.
Look,
Bud,
Bud Clubber Lane Earl on the first fight. But you know what? Rocky didn't have a chance versus Clubber. But Rocky came back in the second fight. And what did he do? He did the impossible. And that's
I
why
mean, I'm a little bit of a nerd. I was gonna say that Bud is like Oswald Cobblepot, somebody that, if you're in the DC universe, he thought every time that he won that the people would love him, and they didn't.
the paper.
They didn't.
Paper.
Yep, Oswald Cobblepot. Yep. And every time that he tried to play the people, he thought that they would love him, and they never did. Like they loved Batman, and I feel like that's Bud's mentality.
Yep. And like
Like
I said,
if I kill your hero, if I beat your hero, that love is supposed to automatically be transferred to me, and that's not the
but see,
case.
he don't realize it don't work that way. Yeah, you might have beat our hero, but that don't make you our hero because you didn't put in you don't have the same attributes our hero has. You haven't put in the work our hero has. We ain't seen you struggle. We ain't seen you fight 50-50 fights. We didn't see you go across it and put it all on the line. We didn't see none of that. We seen you take these luxurious fights where you was always the favorite, where you didn't have to do much. We didn't see none of that. And that's why we love Earl. And if anything, what Crawford doing is going to backfire because he's going to make Earl fan base grow because everybody loves a good underdog story. Everybody loves it. Thomas Hill, salute, King. Rick Tim, salute. Al Booger, salute. Omo, salute. Ty Swindle, salute. But everybody loves a good underdog story. That's what people. Bear 24, salute, King. I'm making sure. Hold on, so making sure I salute there. Antonio Brown, salute. Making sure I salute everybody that come through. Shakur Bell Hot, salute. Everybody else I missed, salute. If I ain't say your name, Key Hype, salute. If I ain't say your name, go ahead and just say something to the thing, and I'll make sure I salute you. Sorry if I missed you. You know, I appreciate each and every one of y'all that come through here and show love. But yeah. So see, he didn't put in the work. But see, like I say, this is the setup to a great movie.
He didn't put in the work for them belts either. Just saying.
Exactly. Now he sat back while Earl went through and put in all the work. While he sat there with his what Bob orders belt and relaxed and waited for Earl to do all the heavy lifting. But like I said, it's gonna come back to bite him at the end. Because see, he's putting Earl at all the disadvantages. He's stacking the deck against Earl. Earl has no weight. It's a stacked deck. He can't make 147. Bud is so much better. People forget Earl has that championship amateur pedigree. Earl was a monster in amateur boxing. They forget Earl outboxed.
Oh, I know. We trained under the same coach. Oh, I know.
They forget
Gene V. Vettel.
the same Earl Spence that boxed up Floyd Mayweather before his championship fight. That outboxed Floyd Mayweather and messed his eye up. This is the same Earl Spence that outboxed the world champion Adrian Broner and put him to sleep in the middle of the fight with 16-ounce gloves. Now, just do salute, King. Now this is the same Earl Spence that outboxed the champion Adrian Broner and knocked him out in sparring. He outboxed Floyd Mayweather. They try to put him out the gym. So people forget because he bulldozes his opponents that Earl Spence really does have a great boxing game. He has great boxing IQ. He outboxed Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia, and Lamont Peterson. Then he turned around and told us, I ain't got time to do all this. I'm going to go back to bulldozing people. And that's what Earl Spence does. He bulldozes. But him and Derrick James, they're going to get into that championship mode. They're about to get back in the kitchen. And they're going to come out and they're going to have a 5-course, 5-star dinner for Terrence Crawford ass. And watch what I tell you. It's going to be a lot of sad people in the Crawford camp. And I'm telling you this. I can stand on this one. I already know. Because I see he's already done went quiet mode. They already have radio silence right now. Let me drop that link.
I mean,
Thomas Hill, anybody, Rick Sims, y'all can hop on up. I'm dropping the link too. But he's in radio silence right now.
it depends. I don't. One thing I learned is even if you know something, you shouldn't say nothing. But honestly, just in my personal opinion, I feel like it's a matter of the weight. Like I said, I am from DFW, and the boxing community, the boxing circle is small. We all know each other. We all saw each other grow up. Um, this is my personal opinion. I feel like weight will make a difference. Um, Earl Spence has always been stubborn, and I wouldn't put it past him to be like, you know what, F it, we'll run it back. I hope he doesn't, because I mean Crawford already said that he was gonna move up. You know, he challenged Jamel Charlo, excuse me. I mean, he's already said that he was gonna move up. But when it comes to Spence, you know, you're kind of changing your tone.
Because he knows that he caught Spence at a vulnerable time, and everything that could went right for Bud did go right. Everything that could went wrong for Spence did go wrong. And at one point, Bud was going to let Spence fight him at 154. He was. But then he started thinking about like, whoa, do I really want to fight that man at 154? And give him his advantages and put us on an equal playing field. And see, Bud is always punches when it's come to Spence. I don't care what nobody say. If you go back to
me personally,
if you go back to that Mo Hooker,
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Go back to that Mo Hooker fight. Errol Spence asked Bob Arum 11 times, can I get in the ring with Terrence Crawford? Because they had pissed off Spence while they was up there. That day they said bet $1 million. If you go back and watch the video, 11 times Earl told Bob, let me get in the ring with him there. Or call Al. 11 times. It's counted. So Terrence Crawford, he had plenty of chance to fight Earl. But what he was doing was the top-ranked Manny Pacquiao special. Attach your name to a bigger name. Just like when people try to build their credit, they put their name on a person that has a good credit score, and they just ride out with your credit. Every time.
Quick question. Quick question. At what point can we say that Bud is a Canelo clout chaser? Because we know he's wrapped up until at least the second half of 2024, because the fight is September 30th. Okay, the 30th. So that's end of September. November, December, January. We are in 2024. And then he's got two more deals lined up.
You said what, Coach Amber?
Am I breaking up?
It was breaking up for a second. What did you say?
I said, at what point can we call Crawford a clout chaser, like Canelo clout chaser? Because he's fighting Mel at the end of September, literally the 30th. My birthday's the 24th. He's fighting him on the 30th. Okay, so that you know, September, end of September, October, November, December. Like, we're already in 2024, and he's still got two more fights lined up after that in 2024. So, at what point, like, bro, are you a clout chaser? He's tied up for the next 2 years. Well, next year and a half.
See, that's what it is, though, Coach Amber. Crawford thinks because he beat Spence, he can jump the line. He's wanting to jump the line. And he don't realize he didn't do enough. They didn't make enough on that fight to daggone warrant him jumping the line. And that's the problem. See, a lot of people feel entitled. Just because you beat the man don't make you the man. Like I said, Bivol beat the cash cow Canelo Alvarez. And guess what? Bivol had problems getting his little $6 to $7 million. They was trying not to even pay the man after he just beat Canelo Alvarez. Because they was talking about that they weren't sanctioning fights and all that stuff. So just because you beat the man, it doesn't make you the man. It'll boost your stock. And it's great to follow up behind it with another big win or another great performance. But if William Old School, salute. But if you look, Timothy Stoudemire, salute. But if you look at the people that fight Tank Davis beat Rolly Romero, right? Rolly Romero next fight, he won a championship belt in another division. Tank Davis beat Mario Barrios, knocked him out. His next fight, he fighting a former unified champion, Keith Thurman, for a title eliminator, and he loses that. Then he turns around and fights another fight. He looks spectacular. Now he's about to fight Yordenis Ugas for an interim title belt. Isaac Cruz got beat by a one-handed Tank. One-handed. The man used one, and it wasn't his dominant hand. It was his weak hand. And now they call him the Mexican Mike Tyson, the pit bull. And then he fought over the age, and they had the drug Gamboa. Gamboa was drugged in the fight, plus he was overage, and they beat him. Then they beat a cab driver.
There's been more than one fighter that's been drugged in a big fight. Just throwing that out there.
Huh? Then
I said there's been one.
I said Giovanni Cabrera arguably beat Pitbull, but they gave it to him. And now he's still trying to fight Tank. That's when you're a superstar, when people that fight you become bigger. Even off a loss. And see, Crawford don't realize he could have been they was trying to make him an in-house name. After he beat Spence, they had got the ball rolling for him. All he had to do was keep doing his interviews, and they was doing daggone damage control for what Bob Arum had did for Terrence Crawford. But Terrence Crawford even got new followers from the fight. Yeah, I can hear you, Coach Amber. We all can hear you. He even got new followers from the fight. But then he started doing this double talking and this side talking. Like, we was trying to look at Terrence Crawford as this great warrior, but now you're not even trying to fight the man on equal playing field. The man don't care about the belts. He acknowledged you as the best at welterweight. He's just telling you, fight me and let me get a chance to get my lick back. Like, fight me where I'm 100% now. I sat around all these years waiting on you. Now, the least you can do is fight me where I'm strong at. Because everybody told me I should have been left the division. But since I made a promise to my fans, and this is why Errol Spence gained more fans in a loss, because he made a promise to his fans to fight at 147, knowing he's been there for over 12 years. Terrence Crawford has been in 3 weight divisions by now. Most fighters are entering their 2nd to 3rd division after 10 years of boxing. Errol Spence.
Can I say something like as a fan?
Let's get this last part. Errol Spence came in at 154, 155 when he first started. He cut down to 147, so he's been boxing below what he came in at boxing at. Now, what you saying, Coach Amber?
I just want to say this as a fan, regardless of like my ties to boxing, whatever, because let's not forget in 2020 we had COVID, which was really hard for boxing. We only 3 years removed. When right before the Ugas fight, it might have been after. No, I don't know if it was before or after.
Him and Danny Garcia broke the gate record during COVID. Errol and Danny.
But that man stood on that podium and he said, "I want to thank each and every one of my fans for spending their hard-earned money."
Yes, he did.
To watch this fight, and then people wonder why we love him so much, like, because he's one of us. He's one of us.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, I don't understand like the hate for him. I mean, he's one of us. He's a regular dude. I mean, like I said, same circles, all that. He's always been like that. He's always been quiet. He's always been to himself. Like, that's just a reflection of his daddy. And so for Bud to lash out and be like, "I don't understand," it's like, look, I judge people based on how they treat other people. Like, if I go to a restaurant and you treat the waitress like shit, I think you're a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I'm gonna tell you
Like
something, right?
I judge other people based on the way they treat other people. And
You want me to tell you
you
one
know,
thing though, Coach Amber? A lot of people feel like Bud went through the struggle growing up. He was raised by a single mother. He was in the hood. He had to do this and that. Like his life was so hard and all this. So a lot of people feel like they can relate
get
to
me
Bud.
better.
Just
I know,
like
but listen,
Get me
let me
just
tell
like a
you.
better.
lot of other athlete stories. Just
I
like a
know, but
lot
check
of
this out. Let me finish. Let me finish too. I'm gonna let you rock. But this is why a lot of people want to relate to Bud because they feel like, look, I've been through the trenches. But see, Bud ain't really having that damn hard like people think. Bud chose to do a lot of the shit that he did. But people are glorifying the fact that he was out there in the hood doing what he did. I did what I did in the hood. I don't glorify what I did. Hell, I did over daggone 12 years in the penitentiary behind this crap, missing my kid's life and everything. But look,
That's
people
because
feel
you're an
like
OG and you know better.
yeah, people feel like they can relate to Crawford, and they feel like he hood. And then they got this drill rap out, and they got all this gangster rap and everything. So people want to relate to the gangster. When I think what's really gangster is taking care of your family and your kids. That's the real gangster shit right there. Is taking care of your responsibilities. Like, so we mad at Earl because his dad was there to take care of him and teach him right from wrong. Earl had to get put. Earl was a bully. He used to fight in school. His dad put him in boxing to curb his attitude. He had an on-site parent that was there to make sure he didn't go down the wrong road. And Earl went out there and he achieves. And it's like we're punishing him because he achieved. And just like people hated Floyd Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather endorsed Earl Spence. So that's when Earl first started getting that hate because he was endorsing him versus Keith Thurman. So then, they hate Al Heyman. Spence is under Al Heyman. So they just hate that this man made great decisions in life and they feel like he's highly favored. So they hate him. Because a lot of people look at people out here and they hate on them, not knowing the person's struggle, what they put in to get where they at. They just think it's easy to make it. And if you see this person made it and you ain't, then they hating on him.
Birds of a feather.
I
Salute
want
Thomas Hill. 2 Cent, what happened to you?
salute. She probably just went through an area where she lost connection. But
Yep.
salute to you, Upper. Salute, Coach Amber. Salute to the chat too. I
Yep.
will say this. I will say this. Like, do I think it's kind of not cool for him to offer that fight at 154? I
Of
kind of
course it
feel
is.
so, given the fact what Spence did to make the fight actually happen, and but at the same token, if it's in the contract that the winner gets to pick the weight that it is, and he wants to defend his titles, we can't really be mad at that as well too.
No, what we're
If-
mad at is the fact, this is what we're mad at, Thomas Hill. We're mad at the fact that people are mad that we're holding Bud accountable for what he said.
yeah.
Bud
Oh
first,
no, I
hold on,
I
check this out.
fully agree.
Huh?
I fully agree. He did say that.
But this is what we're mad about, though. It's not the fact that Bud wants to defend his titles, because if Bud wanted to defend undisputed, I wouldn't have said nothing about it. I wouldn't have had no problem with it because he's a champion. He deserves the right to defend undisputed, right? But
Yeah,
when you say we're gonna put the fight at 147 just to hope that Spence will walk away, so we don't have to make the fight because we feel like the fight is a waste of time. And then you say that you will fight Jermell Charlo at 154 for his belts or Canelo at 168 for his belts, then I have a problem with that. So
no,
if you're
I
gonna put a fight at a lower weight to duck this man, but you willing to fight at 154 for this man,
yeah,
that's
no,
where
I
I have
feel
a
you.
problem.
No, I feel you, and I agree with that sentiment right there. Only thing that I will say is if he's going up to fight some them other two, then it's probably going to be for the belts. Whereas at 54, there's no fight for the belts. However, like you said, if you're going to say it's hard for you to make it, you plan on moving up after the fight, and then the rematch you would fight him at 54, then you want to hold to it. However, if you don't and you want to rematch him at 47, and Spence cannot make that weight, I don't think Spence should break himself again to try to make that weight. I think what Spence should do is move up and go get that fight, that 54 title, and I think he should defend his title against the number one mandatory, and that would be Boots Ennis, and then everything works well. But I agree with what you say, and I don't like the fact that there is like a differing from what you have first said. But I mean, like,
And I'm
Hey,
gonna be honest, right?
that's the way he's seemed to have been doing things lately. So
But you know
he,
something? And I wouldn't even be mad if Earl did some snake shit right behind it, right? But see, Earl's too much of a real guy and he's too much of the truth. If I was Earl, I agree to 147 and I come in overweight. Salute Rachel, Princess, what's going on?
oh, that's a fact. He could definitely
I
do
will
that.
come in at 154. And you know what? I tell Bud, what, you're not gonna take the fight now? You done been in training camp all this time right here. Are you willing to waste this money? Because even though you don't make the fight, you still gotta pay your training
I
camp.
believe Bud would still be a diva, and then point the finger at Earl and expect us to hate him, which we
But
won't.
look, his fans will say you still can take this fight now. You still can take the fight. And if Bud turns
Would
that
they?
down, if I think he would because he'd be putting it in between a
They
rock
be
and a hard
defending the
place.
undefendable.
I think that'll put him between a rock and a hard place because people will sit there and say, well, you was willing to fight Canelo at 168 and Jamil at 154. Now, Earl already told you that he's having problems making the weight. He told you that
Yeah,
he might not make it. You even know he couldn't make the weight. So
Papa,
don't
yeah.
but we're
expect
having that
something
argument now, and they're still defending it. Why wouldn't they defend it if he decided
because
to,
they'll be ready for that fight.
pack it
They'll
up
be
and
ready
come home?
because they'll be ready to watch the fight. You've been waiting for this fight all this time. And if Earl's right there in front of you and you turn it down, they going that's a whole different ball game. That's
Yeah,
a
man.
whole
I
different
don't
ball
believe
game.
Bud
Look,
loves his fans that much.
I,
listen.
I, I
I tell
think
you like
Bud.
I
Bud
don't
has
believe Bud
pride as
loves
a
his.
man as well, though. He has pride as a man as well. No matter what we say, he do have pride as a man, and that will make you look like so much of a coward. Until I know he wouldn't come overweight because Earl is too much of a real nigga. I said me, and I'm a real nigga too. But I say if you snake me, I come back and I'll be 154. Like I think I told you I couldn't
Thomas
make
Hills,
weight.
nice to meet you virtually. Nice to meet you virtually.
Huh?
I said, Thomas Hills, nice to meet you virtually.
Oh, very much so, Coach. And we
Yeah.
always love
So like I
listening to the
said, I
coach.
know Earl is too much of a consummate professional. And Earl cares about his fans and his reputation too much that he's not going to let himself miss weight. He's never missed weight. But I said,
Yeah,
me, I would miss weight. And knowing that Bud has pride, he can't turn the fight down because everybody would be mad at him, even though I'm the one that came in overweight. So Bud would be forced to take the weight. I mean, take the fight. That's one thing about us men, Amber. You can't just turn that shit down. Look at all the people that came in and lost their belts on the scale because they was overweight. They still got the fight. Like that makes you look like some as a man, you can't turn down the fight, especially when you done went through training camp all this time away from your family, because that means you don't even get your paycheck. I mean, one thing we know about Bud, he like his paycheck. So if you don't take this fight, you don't get paid. Period. So you're gonna have to pay money out your pocket for your training camp and your coaches and everything you went through. Because if you don't fight me, then you don't get shit. Now,
yeah.
if I
See,
do fight you and I'm
I'm so
over,
glad you brought that up, and I hope the whole chat and the whole YouTube world keep that same energy for Virgil. Just saying. But
how
um,
is Virgil doing?
yeah,
Virgil going to 154, so I'm cool.
uh,
I want to see him
hopefully
and
it
Bud.
solves it. I'm gonna respect their privacy. I'm gonna respect their privacy. I understand why they're doing what they're doing and just being quiet. Um,
I need my
it's
man
my
Virgil.
understanding.
I need my man Virgil to get a big fight. I need him to get like an Earl Spence fight or something right there. Somewhere he get a paycheck because his family
Hell,
they
throw him
put a
at
big.
tsyuh. I don't give a damn. Like,
That's not a big enough fight because his family they sacrificed everything for Virgil. So I want to see Virgil
yeah,
get that big
Virgil's a
bag.
trigger for me because
I want him to get
his
that big
daddy
bag.
and my mentor, they were really good friends.
I just want
Really,
Virgil
really
to
good
get him.
friends. And
I need him. I need Virgil to get a big name, so he get a nice, at least $1 million check, at least a couple mil. Because like I be telling people all the time, most boxers never see $1 million in their career in a fight. Like Frank
I
Martin,
want Virgil to be away from Oscar, to be honest. But I
yeah,
mean,
they trying to get
Yeah,
Ryan Garcia
that's the
away from
move right
Oscar,
there.
man. It's hard. But see, Oscar, he be putting them claws deep into them young boxers, and he know what he be doing. But like I said, if I was Earl, I'd come in there
to my
148.
knowledge, they are pushing forward. They are pushing forward. They are moving up. I mean, as much work as they put into it, they're gonna push forward.
Virgil
And
Ortiz need to fight Brian Castano. That'll be a great fight. Virgil Ortiz versus Brian Castano. That might can do pay-per-view
hell
numbers.
yeah, I like that fight. I like the Tim Tszyu one better, but what if?
Yeah, because the
Virgil need to
Tenzou is
stay
for a
away from
belt.
Jesus Ramos, though.
Well, yeah, he got to get him. He got to get his feet wet back again. He ain't been in the ring in a
Nah, he
minute.
need to stay. He got to stay away from
Tenzou would
Ramos.
be a good fight.
Ramos is a light heavyweight at junior welter. I mean junior middle.
Hey, but going
I
back
mean,
to
this
it
this
too.
this my guy. Like Tim Tszyu first. I'm gonna look out for my guy.
Tim Tszyu duck. Tim Tszyu duck Jesus Ramos. Jesus Ramos was trying to fight Tim Tszyu, and Tim Tszyu went and fought Ocampo. They was gonna make Tim Tszyu and Ramos a main event card, and Tim Tszyu said he'd rather fight Jesus Ramos. I mean, he'd rather
I'm just
fight.
saying, can my guy get the seat warm before he take off? Like,
No. I was saying Virgil need to stay away from Jesus Ramos right now. I said Tim Tszyu ducked Ramos to fight Ocampo. They was trying to make Tim Tszyu versus Ocampo, and they was trying to make Tim Tszyu versus Ramos, but he said, "Hell nah, give me Ocampo." So he got Ocampo. He didn't want that Ramos smoke. And
hey, Albert, I'm gonna dip off because I gotta get on this Zoom call because I'm messing around with y'all.
okay.
But I really appreciate it. I truly do.
No problem. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. And you welcome anytime I come up here, Coach Amber. What you need to do is
Thank you.
go ahead and get your channel together so you can go ahead and get monetized and you be doing your show over there. And you can put the light on some of
Man,
these
I don't know what I want to cover. I don't know what I want to cover. Although I'm thinking about covering amateur boxing.
No, cover what you know best, boxing.
Olympic style boxing.
Huh?
Olympic style. Olympic style.
I mean, just cover boxing, period. That covers all boxing.
I appreciate you guys' time.
Don't limit yourself to one form of boxing. Just all boxing.
I appreciate you, Albert. Salute to the chat.
No problem. If you want, you can drop your link in the chat. Oh yes, Shawad, that'll be a great
I ain't
fight.
doing no of that because they don't like me.
Oh yes, Shawad, Virgil Ortiz versus Fundor would be a great fight, Shawad. I would love to see
Coach,
Virgil
always
Ortiz
a pleasure
versus
having you
Fundor.
on the show.
That fight will do numbers too.
I actually like that fight. That fight I do like.
That'll do some numbers too. Plus, it's gonna be action packed because Fundor, he gives up his size, and so they're gonna be in there banging.
Virgil gonna break them hips. He gonna break them hips.
Well, I want to see it.
I just
want to see Fundor go on down because Fundor does have a name still. They still call him the cheat code. So that'd be a great name for Virgil. Yeah. If Virgil fight him or Castano or Tim Tszyu, yeah, that'd be good for Virgil.
Tim Tszyu definitely.
And then
154 kind of lit.
Yeah, 154, he kind of lit. It is lit. Yeah, you got Jesus Ramos up there. Lubin about to leave 154 though, because they giving Lubin his severance package this week coming up. Or next week. It's next week. In less than 10 days, Lubin get his severance package from 154. He's gonna go to 160 because 154 is he about to take up punishment. He just lost to Fundora. And Lubin has had a great career, but he lost that first fight to Charlo. That knocked him down a peg. It took him 5-6 fights just to get back up in contention again against some bangers. And then he got there with Fundora. Fundora broke his eye socket. And now coming back off of that, he win a fight. And now he's going against Jesus Ramos.
Yeah.
Like the guy that stopped the guy that stopped him, he's going against the guy that beat that guy. So he got his work cut out for him. He can't just sit there and let that man play with him because he gonna bomb on that nigga.
Nah, he better start boxing. He better do, he better stick to the fundamentals and the basics. He better not try to go in there and brawl.
175 at fight night. Watch. And Ramos, he doesn't play no games. Ask little Joey Spencer. He be throwing them punches. It don't even like he throwing them hard, but them things be
Hey,
resonating.
those be the ones that hurt the most when they effortless.
His shots be resonating. It don't even like he be throwing them hard. You be like, damn. I remember he was putting that hot sauce on Brian Mendoza. Because
Rick Tams
Ramos
coming up
28
there and cook.
16 knockouts. Ramos, he had
Cleo.
3 fights back to back that he didn't get a knockout in. And Mendoza was right there in between there. He was in them 3 fights. It was back to back to back that he didn't get knockouts. But he was putting hot sauce on their ass though. Because he put that hot sauce on Ramos' ass, on Mendoza. But then
Mendoza,
after
yeah, he
he
definitely.
fought Joey Spencer, he put that hot sauce on him. We see what happened.
He put that sriracha on his ass.
Yeah, he put that motherfucker in that damn that chili sauce with the green
I gotta
top.
give Spencer. I gotta give Spencer his credit though, boy. He didn't want to go out that bad boy, but he was getting beat.
Yeah.
He got that old school beating. Man, that stuff was hurting me. Hey, but going back to why I originally came on, it was like why we rock with certain people. And I like that because I just heard somebody sit there and spend a whole good deal of time dogging Tank, saying Tank scared, Tank don't want to make no fights, Tank this, Tank that. And I understand that, Tank need to fight big names, so this won't be the narrative. But I don't like when the energy is like that for just one particular fighter, when the person that you rock with heavy got that same type of thing going on, that same type of vibe going on. And we know that as men, we hold ourselves to a code where we don't speak on other people's business. We only deal with stuff that pertain to us. And I believe Tank hold himself to that code very, very well. And on top of that, when he in the ring, he handles himself. He acquits himself very, very well. I don't understand why so many people got the vitriol and they say he's scared. Likewise, that's why people rock with Spence, because of the way he carry himself and handle himself as a man and hold himself to accountable to his word. So I don't like how we paint other fighters in a negative light just to lift up our fighter that we support or we like. I like Tank, but I understand he need to fight people so that people can't have that narrative about him. And plus, I want to see the fights. I don't want him
but who
going.
is there for Tank to fight at 135? I hear people say that, but who do they want Tank to fight? Haney can't make 135 anymore, so that essentially wouldn't be a fair fight. Shakur just came to the division and he only has 1 fight,
and he's over on outside too. Not outside, but a Bob side. So that's a big hurdle right there that people don't want to recognize. They see like the small fries over at the PBC get tossed over there, and they think that it's the same thing. It equates to the same thing. It ain't the same thing when you're talking about the money makers, because the money makers at PBC make way more money and bring in way more revenue than the fighters over there at Top Rank. So it's not the same thing. And I agree with you, 2 cents. There isn't really much for him to fight, but like at the same time, man, it's like the narrative in boxing has to change. Like people got to start getting fights, and no matter what promotion platforms they're on, because I'm tired of just the same rigmarole. I definitely don't want to see a pit bull fight. I definitely don't want to see that. I would rather a Frank Martin fight, honestly.
Or Tio. But
I would
even
love
then,
no. I would greatly appreciate a Tio fight. Tio opens up so many other things to play. Like that's
but
at
then
140.
Would he have to go to? He would have to go to 140.
Yeah, but he can. Tank is one who can fluctuate between 135 and 140 effortlessly. I don't think he has a problem at either one of them. And I think if he has both, he can entertain fights that might be big. Say for instance, Inoue becomes available, or Shakur does become available at 135, and they can make the fight. Then you can go back up and you can fight Matias. You can fight Ryan if he should beat Rolly. You could fight the winner of the Dev Prograis. Like, so I think that would be the best move, because if he knocks Tio off and gets that belt, now he has a piece of the pie that, quote unquote, some fighters who fight for legacy are looking for.
So you saying he should move to 140?
I think he should be able to take, if that fight is on the table, If that fight is on the table, like if you got Pitbull Cruz and you got Tio, I'm taking Tio because I believe.
Pitbull
Huh?
can't beat the people, bro. What you
You said,
realize is Ryan Garcia is about to fight. They're trying to get the dude out the way so he can fight Rolly Romero for a pay per view because Ryan is the A
yeah,
side, and
yeah, that's
Ryan and Tio is pay per view. And if Devin beats Regis, which I doubt it, Ryan versus Devin or Ryan versus Tio, Ryan has two big fights right there. That Teofimo fight and Ryan, that'll do at least 700 to 800 pay per view. And Ryan versus Devin, you know they do numbers. Then they're gonna turn around and then they're gonna have that Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia rematch. See, Ryan has a chance to go through the 140 division, except for Matias for right now. And Ryan's looking good, but Ryan has a shot at Rolly Romero. Then it's Teofimo right there. Tio said he wants 8 figures. The only way he's gonna get that is if he fights Tank Davis or Ryan Garcia. And when he does that, then somebody has 2 belts Then you got Regis and Haney. If Haney beats Regis, and I'm just saying if, because Regis is the Rougarou. Now I feel like Ryan Garcia's new style, by the time he gets to Regis after the other 2 fights, he'll be more impactful to fight him. Now, but Matias, that's gonna be a heavy load for whoever. But I feel like after them 2 fights, Ryan versus Tank, new rematch, didn't do about 1.6, 1.7 million buys because Ryan's fans have been waiting for Ryan to fight somebody. He's fighting Tank, and that boosted his legacy up. And now that he's finally training again, people forget Ryan Garcia was on the same base as Devin Haney. They both was 3-3 versus each other. And you know, Devin, he improved, and Ryan, he was doing TikTok. Ryan built his fan base up while Devin was improving his skills. Now Ryan's been improving his skills, and he's got the fan base now. So now Ryan Garcia is ready to make a name and impact. And he's been hanging with Floyd Mayweather. So they're trying to get him out of Oscar De La Hoya because Floyd know that man's big money. Floyd know he can make more money off Ryan Garcia than he did off Tank Davis, honestly. And people don't even realize that. But Ryan will be a bigger star than Tank Davis if Floyd Mayweather can get him. Because Ryan appeals to a bigger public than Tank. And you know, he got the Spanish fan base. You see how Canelo's the face of boxing. Ryan has a chance to do what Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo did. See, people don't even understand that. They're not even paying attention to what's really going on here. But that's why Floyd Mayweather is the man that he is, because he knows what Ryan brings to the table. He knows he can do it, Ryan. But yeah, Pitbull Cruz, like I said, I feel like Giovanni Cabrera beat Pitbull Cruz. Pitbull Cruz is a hype job, basically. Tank versus Tio would have been a damn 10-figure fight for Tio. Like, I wish Tank would move and fight Tio, honestly. Because Tank versus
I think he
Tio,
might do it. He
yeah,
might
because
do it.
Tank versus Tio, Tank versus Devin, Tank versus Shakur. Those, or Tank versus Inouye, if Inouye move up. Those 4 fights are the fights that Tank has left. Plus the rematch with Ryan Garcia. And really, the Teofimo fight is the only one that does over 1 million buys right now. It's Teofimo. Honestly speaking. Teofimo does over 1 million buys. Devin probably be about 8. Shakur probably be about 7 or 8. And I feel like, who's the other person I said? Well, there's the other person. I feel like that'll be it right there. The Ryan rematch. Yep. Tank versus Devin, Shakur, Teofimo, and Ryan Garcia. That's the 4. And Inouye. Inouye versus Tank that do 1 million buys. Because it got that dynamic. But y'all go ahead and give y'all last thing. You know it's time for my boy Just Do. Y'all know I don't like to take Just Do time up.
It's been cool. I know I wasn't able to be up here that long today. I kept getting 1,000 phone calls today.
I seen
But I'll
that.
be
I
on here
seen
to
it.
cook with you tomorrow.
Yeah, I might go a little longer tomorrow. My shit started kicking in if y'all ain't noticed yet.
yeah. No, I can hear it. I can hear it. Now, but shout out to you, up. Shout out to Two Cents always coming through with the voice of reason, and shout out to the chat, all the good people in the chat, man. You know, when it's healthy and wholesome, man, I love to talk boxing.
Oh yeah, I love my chat, man. I think I got the best chat in boxing, and we just building up now. By next year, my chat gonna be full, and I got my moderators already. And when we start getting these new people in there, I'm gonna let my chat pop their ass. I'm gonna let my chat have free reign. But yeah, I'm building my platform. I'm gonna start back, but yeah, people don't know. Here, 2 months ago, I gained 1,400 followers in 1 month. But I just gotta get in there and get it together, so my moderators have people that they can pop. I gotta do it for my mods. You feel me? Well, peace and blessings to every one of y'all. Y'all know how we like to end this show. And y'all make sure after y'all leave here, y'all run over there and y'all holler at my man Just Do and tell him Upper Echelon sent you. Well, peace and blessings to all y'all. We'll be back on here tomorrow at 2:00 Eastern Standard Time. That's the new time now. And let's blow it up out of here.
They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, you know I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding. I get to squeeze and leave a nigga. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, you know I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding. I get to squeeze and leave a nigga bleeding. Raw Molly got me all up in demon mode. Mouth moving like I done put clean in my nose. Tryna catch me up, I can leave with some hoes. He standing straight up, watch I make him lean with this pole. Would've thought he was closed, how that heat made him fold. Thought it was a game, he won't think no more. His brain's gone, nigga. It be exciting when I get to striking. Guns sound like thunder, hit you like lightning. Fight for your life, we don't do no fighting. We really hit it, nigga. We worse than savage, they calling us Vikings. Police be riding, we still be sliding. Told you we hitters, remember the time. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, you know I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding. I get to squeeze and leave a nigga bleeding. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, you know I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding. I get to squeeze and leave a nigga bleeding. How about I leave them holding like the Bible? AR-15, that's a high-pound rifle. A in the army and assassinate rivals. Break that shit down, nigga. AK to anybody, kill him. Hop out, get the drilling and spilling. 7.62 gon' split him. LN, that's for any fuck nigga. You a plug, then I'm pulling up, nigga. You my lunch, eat these bullets for dinner. 5.0, eat them up, eat them up. SK, smoke killer for show. Drum rounds and cripple ops, Draco. I got them all, you don't want no. I got all those shits, nigga. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, you know I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding. I can squeeze, leave a nigga bleeding. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, bitch, I got it for 'em. They want that smoke, you know I blow it. They call me Sunny Monster for a reason. I'm really dripping, leave a nigga bleeding.